Hey guys, welcome back. So today I thought we'd talk about the Immaculate Conception, and we're doing it at VOLIKHAR Castle. Why here? Because there is in the middle of this castle is supposed to be a statue of a shrine to Mara in the midst of this very dark place and Skyrim lore. And since Mary is supposed to immaculately conceived in the darkness of the human race, I thought, what a good place to talk about it. What a better place to talk about it than here. So, this is probably the Immaculate Conception of Mary is probably the most controversial of all the Marian doctrines, the Catholic Church. Even Eastern Orthodox don't believe it. In fact, many early Catholic theologians did not believe it. It's only been comparatively only recently infallibly defined by the Catholic Church. Got here. Still focusing on the blood. So why does the Catholic Church believe it? So for many years, it was debated. So for many years, it was actually debated about whether or not Mary was immaculately conceived. And St. Thomas Aquinas argued against Mary being immaculately conceived himself. He, however, did believe that she only had original sin, that she was purified very shortly thereafter. Very shortly after she was conceived. Now, Now, let's look at some of the objections to this. To the Immaculate Conception. So, there's, of course, in the Magnificat, that's the verse which says, I rejoice in God, my Savior. That's a very good question. It says God is her Savior, so if Mary is saved, he is a Savior, that implies she was a sin and she's going to be saved from. Here's the thing. I looked at the original Greek, and the Greek word we need to rate some of these later. But the Greek word for Savior in this verse, the Greek word for Savior can also mean preserver. So Mary could be referring to God as God, her preserver, as someone who preserves her from sin. And that is how Catholics believe Mary was redeemed as well. Like, it was a grace from God, and it was accomplished by a miraculous redemption of Jesus Christ himself. It wasn't something that Mary did. It's not about Mary being holy, it's about God giving his grace. That's something that you should people should be aware of when they try to argue about the Immaculate Conception. If you're talking the Immaculate Conception, it's about Mary and her grace that she's been given, not Mary and her how wonderful she is in her own merits. It is the grace that we're talking about. Secondly, there's also Romans 3. There's also Romans 3:23, which says, "For all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God." And by and large, that is true. Like, unless even the Catholic Council of Trent said that we cannot presume that you are saved. You should not presume that you are saved. You should not presume that you are saved by your own merits. You have to presume that you are sinless. It requires a miracle of grace that God does not generally give out. So if someone thinks someone thinks that they are immaculately conceived, they're getting themselves. We see Mary as very much an exception to that rule to all. And the word all can apply exceptions. For example, the word used for all in the Greek also says that all of Judea went out to Jordan to see John the Baptist. It does not mean that every man, woman, child stopped living in Jerusalem and moved where John the Baptist was. It doesn't mean that. I don't know where the shrine is. Never actually seen it. VOLIKHAR Cathedral, well... Okay, we found the shrine to VOLIKHAR. I know I said in another video I like VOLIKHAR. Well, that's in relation to VOLIKHAR. I like him more than like VOLIKHAR is what I mean. Still an evil day for Chris. So that's not where Mara Shrine is. But it doesn't. But yes, but it does. The verses do allow for some exceptions, though very rare exceptions. I am aware that it does. I am aware that Romans 3:23 does generally mean that pretty much we should not presume that we're going to be sinless in this life. We should presume that we are sinners, and that it is morally universal that we should see ourselves unworthy. Where is the shrine of Mara? Where is the shrine of Mara? By the way, like, I just want to point out, there is a shrine to Mara here. I know that for a fact from other gamers and stuff, but it's really super hard to find. But I'll search till I find it. Am I going in circles? I think so. But yeah, it's very rare. Now, the main reason that philosophically the Catholics do argue for the Immaculate Conception is based on philosophical logic, and that we would ultimately have to impute sin to Christ to deny the Immaculate Conception, logically speaking. So here's what it is. So let's say you're all watching this. Romans 3:23, you are sinners. Okay then. Let's say devil appears to you and says, I want control over your mother. Well, the woman is going to be your mother. Let's say you could do this before you were born. And the devil says, how long can I have her? Just tell my wife, I'll have 2 years, 15 years, before I'm entered that way? No. How long should she be under my dominion? 5 minutes, 2 minutes? No, you would say, stay away from my mother. You who are sinners would say that. Why do you think that Jesus has less devotion to his mother than you do? Even she was his earthly mother. Still an earthly mother. He became like unto us in all things, but sin. This became like unto us in all things, but sin. As it is, there are verses that imply that Mary
Don't worry, friend. I've got your back.
Was without sin, notably the Proto-Evangelion in Genesis 3:15. Theologians largely agree that that prophecy refers to Jesus. The striking of the head, there should be enmity. It says that there should be enmity between me, you, and the woman, thy seed and her seed. And in some verses, it's not he will strike that heel, it is she will strike that heel, notably in the Septuagint, if I recall correctly. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. So if that's the case, it says enmity between the woman and thy seed and her seed. If there's enmity between the woman and the serpent, that means if Jesus is seed of the woman, who is the mother of the woman? That's not referring to Eve herself. There's not an enmity between Eve and the serpent. There was an alliance between Eve and the serpent. The enmity between the woman and the serpent is between Mary and the serpent because Mary did have enmity. There was none of the works of the devil found in her. That's what it refers to. So, I am pointing out that when I speak of Mary and the Immaculate Conception, I'm talking about a rare exception. Something that glorifies Christ, something that talks about the purity of Mary. Remember, when the laws were given from Sinai, all the purifications they had to do before God gave his 10 simple rules from the summit of the mount. How pure did Mary have to be to bear Christ's Lord of womb? She was not the average person. She is a person of extraordinary holiness, no ifs, ands, or buts. That was fitting, that was proper, that was true. And it does make logical sense, because if you deny that Mary's immaculately conceived, you're saying that God would have allowed things to happen to his mother that you would not have allowed to happen. You would never have allowed that to happen. Now, so my question to anyone who denies Immaculate Conception is why they think they are holier than Christ himself. That they would give the same honor to their mother, out of honor and respect and love for their earthly mothers. Why would Christ do less? She does have that relationship with Christ. Anyway, I wasn't able to find the Shrine of Mara here. I am not spiritually pure and immaculately conceived, so you can't earn it. So, just a reminder, Mary's immaculately conceived, but you're not. And even if you deny that Mary is immaculately conceived, you have to admit there is one more exception to that rule of all sin and fallen short, for all sin and fallen short of the glory of God. There is one other exception to the rule that you all have to admit, and that is Jesus Christ himself. Anyway, God bless. And if you get a chance, check out SPX Church. I'm sure even there's one like an hour or two near you, even if it's like 1 or even 2 or 3 hours away, email them, ask for a ride. You'd be amazed how far people go, and you'll be amazed at how far priests are willing to come to bring you the sacraments. Evangelize your area. God bless.